Are you a pet entrepreneur and or pet marketing professional? Do you want a place where you can gain innovative marketing strategies, receive actionable advice, keep up with the latest trends, and thrive in today's market? Welcome to the Pet Marketing Mastermind. All guests are proven and successful marketers in the pet industry.
Hello, everybody. Please welcome Alexandre Contrera, a veterinarian technician turned entrepreneur and philanthropist. He has an incredible story. As the founder, he's on a mission to enhance the well-being of dogs and their owners through cutting-edge pet care solutions. His journey from veterinary medicine to entrepreneurship has given him a unique perspective on this pet industry, blending science, compassion, and pet innovation. Please welcome Alexandre.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on, Joe. Thank you, first of all, for getting my LinkedIn message and even giving me this opportunity to further tell my story and showcase some of the great things that I'm trying to accomplish in the veterinarian industry. And most importantly, just to try to shed more light that us vet techs, veterinarian assistants are more than just that. We're innovators and we're also entrepreneurs and philanthropists as well. So thank you once again for this opportunity.
I love it. I love it. I love when people reach out. I think that's the nature of this podcast is about marketing. And marketing and sales go hand in hand. So you're reaching out and pitching the story. That's exactly what this is about. So if you're listening to this and you have a story, we'd love to hear about it. I can't promise you'll be on the podcast, but I can promise we'll hear about your story. And this one definitely jumped off the shelves to us. We got it scheduled nice and quick. Alexandre, please tell everyone about kind of the start of your journey. You started your career as a veterinarian technician. Now you're where you're at today. What motivated your shift from veterinary medicine as a vet tech to entrepreneurship and ultimately philanthropy?
Yeah, Joe. So obviously, like most of us that get into the veterinary profession, we start with a passion as a young age, as a kid, whether it's watching the Animal Planet, the Discovery Channel, Net Geo Wild. That's how I was introduced to it. Obviously, my late grandpa, he literally stuck me in front of a TV at a young age while mom was working two jobs to try to provide for me and my brother. My grandparents were the ones that kind of reared me, and he would put me in front of the TV. I would watch the Discovery Channel, the Net Geo Wild, as I mentioned. And one show in particular really struck a chord to me I'll never forget was a show called Emergency Vets. And it was literally just a camera crew following the day-to-day activities of a technician in the profession. And I remember looking at the show thinking, damn, when I grow up, I want to be that person, right? And of course, coming from a Hispanic household, you would think that I'll be pointing to be that doctor, but I wasn't. I was pointing to aspire to be that technician. So sure enough, Joe, as soon as I graduated from high school around 2004, 2005, I enrolled in an online EDU program by the name of Penn Foster. They had a certification program to become this veterinarian technician. Sure enough, I jumped all over that, got the certification through those guys, and literally never looked back, Joe. Got my first job working at an animal hospital, Town and Country Animal Hospital here in Miami, Florida, which happens to be an accredited animal hospital through AHA. That's part of the American Animal Hospital Association. So basically what that means, Joe, is that they're like the top tier, kind of the Ritz-Carlton of animal hospitals, so to speak, right? So
100%, yeah.
Got my opportunity there working as a kennel assistant at first and just climbed up the rankings there, Joe. One thing that I'm super proud of out of my 20-year career as a technician, 10 of those years was in that one practice in particular, which is very rare in my profession. Most technicians usually burn out within year 4, year 5, and they're on to other things. But the fact that I stayed at that one clinic so long, Joe, was just a true testament that not only was this something that I wanted to do long-term, but obviously the veterinarians there, the staff there, they gave me the ability to scale and grow from a kennel assistant all the way to be their lead dental technician in that one animal hospital. Just further showcase that this is something that I wanted to do long term.
I love your passion for pets, and then starting off with this camera show. One of our guests prior was Dr. Paul, and his show, of course, was a fantastic time. Personal friend, and amazing to see who he has inspired. So it's awesome to look back, and I imagine the producers of that show are very proud of all the veterinarian techs that they've inspired. Going backward and a little bit forward, how is your time, your 10-year stint or longer in veterinarian care influenced your approach to marketing and branding in the pet industry?
Yeah, so you're definitely going to love this, Joe. So obviously in my tenure there as a technician as well, we all know that, the salary we make as technicians really don't cut it at the end of the day. But again, I always remember my why, like why I got into this profession and why I wanted to be in it. It was never really for the love of the money, Joe. And I can honestly say that because we know technicians don't stay there for the money. We stay there for the passion, and then the money comes afterwards. But in my tenure there with those guys, I remember I was thinking, damn, what can I do? What can I do more? Or how can I educate myself more? How can I get more certifications under my belt? And at that time, I saw a program to get certified as a canine massage therapist, right? So I was thinking, damn, we're already doing most of the things we can do in the clinical side. Maybe I could start adding this massage therapy, routine to when I'm recovering animals from surgery, or if I'm just lollygagging around the clinic one day, how can I assist this animal in waking up faster from anesthesia? And I remember applying these massage techniques that I learned, and I started to see like, wait, man, this dog recovered a bit faster than what if I was just to stay there observing him in the cage the whole time, right? And that's when I dawned on me like, man, maybe I could create a little service business that I could do aside from being a technician. And this is what brought on that entrepreneurial spirited heart in me that I always had at a young age. And again, I attribute that a lot to my upbringing, Joe. I grew up in a single family household with one mom trying to raise two kids. So I learned that if my brother and I ever wanted anything extra, we had to figure out how we're going to get it without overbearing my mom, right? So in this case, I said, you know what, Alex? I want to start this little massage therapy service called Dogapy. And I want to start massaging my friends and family members and neighbors' dogs that are either arthritic or they're recovering from surgery at some capacity. And I said, you know what? I'm going to start this little service business. Started a little service business on the side, Joe. Started to realize like, the animals are benefiting from this. I'm getting a little side income. Let me take it a step further. Let me start videotaping my progress. I did it all on my own. I learned how to do some editing. I put all my videos together. I will put it on YouTube with the goal that maybe the animal planning executives will be like, yo, look what this guy down in Miami is doing, massaging dogs. The results are there. It's something different. And that's when I realized that I got the attention of some media here in Miami while what I was doing with that massage service business. I did that for about 2 or 3 years in that 10-year span over at Town and Country Animal Hospital. I was able to get a couple of clients to kind of, prove it further. Like, man, I could be a technician. I can make that side money and I could still be involved in this profession that I wanted to do in the beginning, right? So
for sure, I love
did that for those 2 or 3 years, Joe. Fast forward to 2016. This is that pivotal moment in my life where I was getting to that 10-year frame. I started to subconsciously deal with the fact that I never wanted to be viewed as the old guy in the clinic that couldn't be a doctor because I never wanted to be a doctor. I was always aspiring to be that technician, but subconsciously, I always dealt with that inside that, man, people are going to look at me like I'm a failure. I'm just an old bald technician at that point that couldn't be a doctor. So that 2016 timeframe, Joe, I'm sitting there binge watching multiple episodes of Shark Tank, which I'm sure you're familiar with. I'm sure your audience is familiar with.
Oh, very much so,
For those who don't know what Shark Tank is, basically it's a show that if somebody has a product, a business or something that they could pitch, they pitch it to these investors. Investors like it, they invest in it, right? So I'm sitting there 2016 binge watching the show, seeing people coming on there creating products, services, and business. And something that they have firsthand knowledge in, right? Like something that they can improve and make better. And that's when I started scratching my head, Joe, and I said, damn, Alex, what in the veterinary profession can be improved, made better, and definitely safer, not only for us technicians performing the task or for the everyday pet owner, but most importantly for the pets who are retreating, right? And I happened to stumble across one of the most overlooked aspects that I coined in the animal care profession, Joe, and that's the dreadful nail trimming process in animals. We hate trimming animals' nails, and I'm saying it here live. I don't care if you're a 30-year trained technician. I don't care if you're a 40-year-old vet. You're going to nip the quick, Joe. And we know that the quick is that blood vein that runs in an animal's nails. And when that happens, we have to grab the old jar, old styptic powder. First of all, we have to yell to our coworkers to bring it to us and to find it. We have to pour this powder on the table, dab our fingers on it to try to place it on that animal's injured nail, only to create a huge mess. So in 2016, I said, you know what, Alex, I'm going to change all this. I'm going to invent a safer, faster, and definitely more hygienic way of applying styptic powder to an animal's injured nail.
I love it.
Little did I know, Joe, that journey was going to take me on a 4.5-year journey through the patenting
Very
process.
cool. I don't want to stop you there. I want to make sure we're having a conversation. Just to make sure we're just continuing conversation. Got some questions to hit you on. I love your story. I love your journey here. We want to just have conversation back and forth. Obviously, as somebody new to the marketing side and the business side of the pet care industry, how is that learning process? So you launch this product, you have this big, cool backstory on how you got there. But now you need to come to market, right? Let's not talk about production. Let's just talk pure marketing side. What was that big moment of I don't know, I heard welcome to the NFL moments. What was your welcome to the marketing moment?
That welcome to the marketing moment has to be when I won the DVN 360's Paraprofessional of the Year 2022. Thanks again to Adam Chrisman and all the team over there on that end for giving me the opportunity when they heard my story, when they heard about KlipTrio, when they heard about PetTrio Charity. That was my first big award winning. The second one obviously was through the Bridge Club. I won the Bright Minds Out of the Box Thinker in 2022 as well. Again with KlipTrio. Again, just my relentlessness of making these LinkedIn connections, connecting with these individuals, being able to tell my story is what's been giving me these opportunities to showcase what I got going on in the veterinarian industry.
I love it. One of the big things in marketing is storytelling and telling your story. What is your tips for that? Maybe does it come naturally to you? Was it, watching Nat Geo for all those years, something your mom or grandpa gave you? What's that gift? Where'd that come from?
Yeah, I would have to say, Joe, that gift definitely came from my upbringing. One, being able to just express myself whenever I want to communicate something that I want to accomplish, whether that's a dream or a goal. And just realizing, Joe, that at the end of the day, nobody's going to work harder at a vision than yourself, because you're the one that kind of wants to bring this to life and bring this idea to life. And again, just telling my story organically as possible, because at the end of the day, it is my story. Nothing in my story is fabricated because it's my life's journey. I was just able to tell my story over so many times, over all the Zoom meetings, over all the LinkedIn connections, that it just became an integral part of me to storytelling.
I love it. I love that. So it's so natural as well. And you tell it and it feels like I'm there, and I could read the book 100%. So as you're approaching this year, what is going to be your biggest challenge and your biggest opportunity from a marketing and business development side?
Yeah, definitely, Joe. So I would have to say getting the access to capital. Obviously, like everybody in the pet space and other business ventures, trying to have that access to capital, securing funding has been the hardest part, especially with everything kind of going on in the world at the moment. So one of my big goals to hopefully land some capital so I could get KlipTrio out to the market, hopefully mid-year or at the end of this year. And of course, just continuing my messaging here, Joe, to just further showcase that us as technicians, we're more than just that. We could be the innovators, we could be the entrepreneurs, and most importantly, we could learn the insides of business workings by going through these steps and going through these journeys and all these hardships that I had to deal with the last 4.5 years to get here. Again, I never learned anything about project management. I didn't know anything about marketing. I didn't know anything about public speaking. These are just things that you have to go through along the journey. And as cliche as it may sound, and I just realized that maybe 6 months ago, it really isn't the destination that's the end goal. It's enjoying the journey to that destination. And sometimes we tend to get lost in that. I'm a big proponent of that I'm always so forward thinking that I forget to enjoy the moments leading me to those victories, that when I get to the victories, or what I so-called call victories, I don't enjoy it as much because I was forgetting the whole process to getting to that point. And I just had that self-reflection period literally just a couple months ago.
I absolutely love that. I think it's such an important.
Where I would have to say it was all me, all mental. We are our worst enemies at times, especially when you're realizing that the impact of what you're trying to do has significant value to yourself, because it's something that you want so much. It's something that you want to make happen so much that you sometimes let it even cloud your own judgment or you kind of just throw water on your own fire, so to speak. And I realized that just take a step back, realize where you're at currently, what you're trying to accomplish, and just build small steps towards that. Don't try to take these big leaps, because in taking these big leaps, there's always going to be a downfall to it. And I realized, let me just take the baby steps to those big goals. That way, at the same time, I don't frustrate myself. But most importantly, Joe, I don't lose that same passion and steam that I had from the beginning, which is why I think that I stuck to this profession for so long. It's because I never let it burn me out, because I realized that I plan on doing this long term. I'm not looking for that quick fix, and I'm not looking for that shortcut to success. I just realized it's going to take a lot of hard work and dedication and persistence to achieve these things that I want to do.
I absolutely love that vision. It seemed like you had that as a veterinary tech, you have that as an entrepreneur, and then a philanthropist. About half of our audience are new entrepreneurs, less than a year in. Haven't even started as well. What is that tip you have for somebody who's in that seat? Maybe they just got their LLC, they just got their first patent, they just have their first design. What's that simple piece of advice for them to keep going, to move past it? How have you done it? What's your secret?
It would definitely be, don't lose forward momentum. You're going to run into a lot of no's. You're going to run into maybe a few yeses. You're going to run into a lot of maybes. Just don't lose that. Just don't lose that hunger and that fire. And I've realized that even when, let's say that you're working hard towards a certain goal and you accomplish that goal, don't stay stagnant. Don't stay like, oh, that's it. I accomplished that goal. No. While you're trying to accomplish that goal, set another one, a side story, a mission journey. That way, when both of these goals kind of all meet together, you get to kind of celebrate both of those wins. And if only one of those wins comes, it's still a win, meaning that you're not just banking on one accomplishment to happen. You're winning on multiple accomplishments to happen with the overall goal that you're setting in mind. So definitely don't lose steam. Push all the naysayers to the side. I dealt with a lot of doubt, imposter syndrome, a lot of regret on opportunities that I either missed or didn't take, only to realize that it wasn't my time. That wasn't a good opportunity for me. Another door will open, and just continue on with your journey.
I love that persistence as well. You're like, let's just go. And I love that setting multiple goals of like, this one missed, this one hit, this one missed, this one hit. And you're just kind of taking it day by day. Obviously, name of the podcast is the Pet Marketing Mastermind. So let's go into a little marketing side. What marketing tool or trend would you or are you going to utilize in this next year? What is it? Is it influencer, AI, blogs, podcasts? What are you seeing as your finger on the pulse is where the people, your core audience is getting their information and being able to take action?
Yeah, definitely. So one thing or one trend that I am seeing that is like kind of like, what's going on, but I have to follow it. Obviously, more veterinarian technicians, more veterinarians are becoming influencers, building out their audience on social media. We all know TikTok is here to stay. We all know Instagram's here to stay. Facebook's here to stay. And I'm starting to realize that a lot of these people, all they're doing is trying to develop a new side income to what they're doing, which is why they want to become these influencers. So I'm thinking that if they already have my audience is us veterinarian technicians, us veterinarian assistants, us groomers. I want to align myself with these individuals. And if I'm going to be kind of successful off the backs of the hard work that they're doing, I might as well kick it back to them and let them bring them in on the journey. Let them become part of the KlipTrio brand or PetTrio Charity, what I'm doing for, because at the end of the day, my overall goal is just to continue empowering the profession, continue empowering these employees or these individuals. Because at the end of the day, I'm still one. Regardless if I take my scrubs off or if I put on a suit or if I put on my own swag for KlipTrio PetTrio Charity, at the end of the day, I'm never going to forget my roots. And my roots was that veterinary technician. So if I can help them and they help me, I think it's just going to help the overall marketing of what I got going on in the industry.
I love that rising boat mentality where you guys are all lifting each other up. Let's talk about philanthropy. Let's talk about your charity. Was that something that started like from the jump, like day one, you sold your first product you wanted to give back, or how did that evolve?
Yeah. So again, Joe, when I was telling you that I took that 2-3 tier approach, setting multiple goals, while I was still finalizing the whole idea concept, moving forward with KlipTrio, while I was still getting his patents all recognized, I thought to myself, damn, Alex, you know what? I already know KlipTrio is going to be impactful. I wouldn't have tattooed the name of the brand on my forearm if I didn't know the impact that this product was going to make. And it's a good marketing ploy as well when you're hanging your arm out the window. Yeah, Joe, when I had that going on, I said, you know what, Alex? I always wanted to have a social calling attached to me, a way of giving back. And I don't mean that in the sense of, when you become successful, you want to just show everybody, oh, you made it to the top. No. I wanted to be able to give back to the profession in the sense that, again, further showcasing that not every technician, not every veterinarian assistant is just that. We're more than that, right? So that's when the idea spawned in me to start PetTrio Charity. And I was fortunate enough that I connected with a group called the CARES organization, which is the part of the Companions Animal and Reform and Equality. It's a BIPOC-led animal welfare organization. Connected with James and Jennifer Evans, told them my story. They loved it. They said, Alex, what do you want to do? I said, you know what, guys? I really, really, really wanted to start my own nonprofit. I don't know how to go about it. They said, you know what, Alex? Here's your first grant. Set up your nonprofit, get everything legitimized. What do you plan on doing now? I say, you know what, guys, what I plan on doing? I plan on donating a KlipTrio for every animal that gets adopted from a rescue organization I plan on partnering up with. But most importantly, Joe, I'm a big, big, big advocate for more veterinarian assistant programs in public schooling. It's exactly what I've been doing down here in Dade County. I've been fortunate enough for the past 4.5 years to speak at a vet tech program here at public schooling. Again, every time I speak to the students and they hear my story, they see my journey, it gives them a fresher breath air to know that, you know what, maybe I don't want to be a veterinarian. Maybe I want to be a technician. Or you know what, maybe I don't want to be a technician. Maybe I just want to go straight into philanthropy or become straight into entrepreneurship. But we give them that opportunity that there's multiple paths here. And to end with that, Joe, my first big project right out the gate over at Robert Morgan's Vocational Educational Center, where they have the veterinarian assistant program. I wanted to revamp their whole program, meaning I wanted to put new desks, new lab equipment, a mock-up surgery area. I want to truly immerse those students at the high school level of what they will encounter in the veterinarian profession if they choose this route to take. And I think that's been one of the most inspiring things that I've been doing on the PetTrio Charity side of things is, again, just being in my community, showing my community like, hey, man, I'm out here. I exist. I'm trying to do these great things. It's going to take a lot of hard work and dedication on my end and me partnering up with individuals who believe in my overall mission. But eventually I'll be able to sit back. I don't know, Joe, let's say 5, 10, 15 years from now, I say, you know what? I'm successful now. I came into the industry. I innovated something that's been in our faces for decades. I left it better than when I got into it. My job here is done. And I just let kind of KlipTrio and PetTrio Charity kind of just run itself into the wild, wild west there.
I love your entrepreneur approach in all things. I imagine you had the same approach rising through the ranks as a veterinarian tech, with KlipTrio, with your charity. Like, it's this, like, I'm going to outwork everybody. I'm going to outthink everybody. And ultimately, I'm going to build everybody up. I imagine if I was interviewing half your coworkers, they would say the same thing. Half your business partners, all your business partners, they'd say the same thing. And the people in your charity. It's been an absolute pleasure. I absolutely agree. Your story should be everywhere. This is what makes the pet industry great, is entrepreneurs like yourself organically saw a problem and didn't just sit back on their couch and complain about it. They got to work, got it done. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing your entrepreneur journey. And I think your key is your ability to storytell and your ability to help other people. And it is a fantastic story all around. And as a listener, I feel very blessed that got to hear it. And I know our audience will be blessed as well. You obviously do a lot. Where can people stay connected with you, connect with your charity, purchase all of your products, give you all the capital you need? Where would the audience go if they're more interested in this story like I am?
Definitely, Joe. So obviously they can find me on, let's say, Instagram and TikTok, and as well as Facebook at KlipTrio. So that's KlipTrio. Obviously, they can find me on that side. And obviously with PetTrio Charity, Obviously, PetTrio Charity can be found on those social handles as well. And again, Joe, it's just me. This is my story. This is what I've been living. And again, I just want to further showcase to the profession. I know there's a lot going on in the industry as far as technicians fighting over respective titles and protecting of these titles, whether you're licensed, certified, or registered technician. At the end of the day, let's just remember why we got into this profession, and it's always been for the love and compassion we have for animals, because at the end of the day, these animals that we treat, they don't see these titles. They see that love and compassion that we put day in and day out for our job and for our task. So let's just come together as a whole in the industry and just figure out ways that we can just continue pushing our profession forward, because at the end of the day, there's always going to be pets in need. There's always going to be people that have dreams like me who are inspiring to be better than what they could have been. And then let's just not throw water on their fire. Let's just light everybody up and let everybody come into this profession and wants to have that passion and dedication for animals.
Absolutely. We all got in this for this love, and sometimes that gets clouded with our current desires. But yeah, we're all in it together. So absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. Please make sure you subscribe to the Pet Marketing Mastermind. And maybe this week try to outwork somebody, try to help somebody out as well. Absolutely pleasure. Thank you so much. And we'll see you guys in the next episode.